For decades, the local car dealership served as a focal point for American commerce. A shining row of the latest models under bright lights meant the local economy was moving. Over time, the scale changed. Massive auto rows became the standard, where dozens of competing franchises occupied miles of prime real estate. But today, some of those massive footprints have gone silent. You can walk across acres of asphalt that once held millions in inventory and find nothing but faded white lines and locked doors. Major nameplates like Dodge, Jeep, and Ram are the ones shuttering here. These are modern, top-tier facilities that have suddenly ceased all operations. The lot directly across the street is also vacant. This pattern suggests the issue is larger than a single business owner making poor decisions. It points to a broader collapse within this specific community. To find out why these historically profitable lots are sitting empty, we have to look at the math that used to keep them alive. Most assume dealerships own their inventory. In reality, they borrow from banks to buy stock from the manufacturer. This creates a floor plan cost, daily interest. Every day a car sits unsold, the dealer pays a fee to the bank. When you look at an overflow lot packed with hundreds of vehicles, you're looking at hundreds of daily interest payments compounding at the same time. This makes the business a race against the calendar. Every day a vehicle sits, its future profit is slowly consumed by the cost of the loan used to acquire it. In 2026, the math was upended. As interest rates spiked, the daily cost to hold inventory rose sharply. Simultaneously, those high rates made car payments too expensive for buyers. Sales plummeted exactly when holding inventory became most expensive. The old model relied on moving inventory quickly to stay ahead of interest. Without rapid sales, interest payments can quickly exceed the dealership's operating cash. Dealerships are now caught in a squeeze. They are paying high interest on cars that fewer people can afford to buy. This isn't limited to the high-end showrooms. Even the smaller, independent buy here, pay here used car lots are feeling the pressure. Across the street from the major franchises, these independent lots are also being locked up and cleared out. Seeing the same closures at both the top and bottom of the market indicates a problem with the core requirement of the business, holding physical inventory. For 100 years, the goal was to keep as many cars as possible on a lot to attract walk-in buyers. But in an environment with high interest rates and low demand, that massive inventory becomes a liability that can sink the entire operation. These empty showrooms are signs that the traditional way of selling cars is becoming increasingly difficult to sustain under current economic conditions.
For decades, the subprime auto financing industry was a guaranteed money printer. Dealerships catering to buyers with bad credit rarely lost. But right now, that seemingly invincible financial machine is tearing itself apart. To understand why, you have to look at the mechanics of the buy here, pay here lot. When you walk onto these properties, you aren't bringing a loan from a traditional bank. The dealership itself acts as the lender, directly financing the car and collecting your payments. Historically, this entire setup was practically recession-proof. As long as there's a steady stream of buyers with poor credit who desperately need transportation to get to work, dealers have a captive market willing to accept almost any terms. Yet the landscape of 2026 paints a very different picture. Take a drive through this neighborhood and you'll find independent buy here, pay here lots completely shuttered, leaving behind cracked asphalt and empty offices. The financial rot is moving up the chain too. Just down the street, a major franchise operation has packed up, stripping the signage from its modern building and abandoning the property entirely. It raises an obvious question. If a business model is specifically engineered to extract profits from vulnerable buyers who have no other options, how did it suddenly become a lethal liability for the dealers themselves? There is still one dealership hanging on in this area. To stay alive, they've started offering something almost unheard of on these lots, a limited 6-month or 6,000-mile warranty on their inventory. In the subprime auto world, vehicles are almost universally sold as is. If the engine fails a mile down the road, it's entirely the buyer's problem. Offering any kind of guarantee suggests the dealer is struggling. They are desperate to convince wary buyers to take a massive risk, and it is a massive risk. This inventory is routinely 8 to 12 years old, with odometers crossing the 100,000-mile mark. You wouldn't know it from the pricing. This decade-old vehicle is marked up to nearly $34,000, rivaling a brand new car. Since buyers can't pay cash, they're trapped into installment plans, paying $130 every week. The math is punishing. The consumer gets locked into a crushing payment schedule, paying a massive premium for a heavily used asset near the end of its life. But the buyers aren't the only ones trapped. The exact mathematical squeeze that crushes the consumer is finally closing in on the dealerships themselves. This three-step capital cycle keeps a lot running. Dealers take a wholesale loan from a mega lender for inventory, then issue retail loans to consumers. But rising interest rates make wholesale borrowing significantly more expensive, while inflation causes record-high consumer defaults. When the buyer stops paying, the dealer repossesses the car. But here is the death blow. Those high-mileage cars are depreciating so fast that the struggling dealer cannot resell them for enough to cover the massive debt they still owe to their lenders. It is a mathematical dead end. High back-end debt combined with front-end consumer defaults has shattered the foundation of this lending model, leaving the entire subprime auto industry teetering on the edge of total collapse. These empty lots reflect a broader trend currently being tracked by analysts across the 2026 auto market. Some experts believe that as financing costs continue to rise, more dealerships using this specific business model will be forced to close. So what are we looking at here? Is this just a temporary economic slump, or are we witnessing a permanent shift in how cars are sold in America? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The situation serves as a harsh lesson for consumers. Relying on alternative financing simply because you lack traditional credit leaves you entirely exposed to these predatory math traps. When you have no leverage, you pay the highest price for the lowest quality asset. Your absolute best defense against this system is building leverage. That means taking control of your financial profile so you can access traditional, regulated banking. That is exactly what we teach here. Subscribe to Credit IQ for deep dive explanations on how the credit system works, actionable strategies to improve your score, and the financial mechanics that the industry rarely explains.